Have you ever been sitting in a Discord with your friends? Everyone's online, but nobody's playing anything? Someone finally says it. There's nothing to play, which doesn't really make sense because there are more games than ever. But when you actually look at them, they all start to feel the same. And that's no accident, because the system that was supposed to save multiplayer might be the reason it feels like there's nothing to play at all. Live service games have dominated the industry for years now. Ever since Fortnite exploded in 2017, or maybe a little bit earlier with some of the other games that came before that, it feels like every studio has been chasing the same idea. Free-to-play games, constant updates, battle passes, and seasonal content. A system designed to keep players engaged forever, and at first, it actually felt like a win. Games were cheaper, sometimes completely free, and the biggest titles in the world were constantly evolving. But over time, something started to shift. Because instead of making better games, studios started making longer-lasting ones, and those aren't always the same thing. Instead of full experiences, we started getting systems. One core gameplay loop stretched across months or even years, supported by cosmetics instead of real content. And eventually, players started to feel it. The same matches, the same progression, and the same grind, just wrapped in a different season. Now we're starting to see the result of that. New games launch, and the struggle is almost immediately. Titles like Highguard, which just happened here recently, shows up, and they disappear just as fast as they came. Not because players don't want new games, but because they've seen this system before, and they're just not interested in it anymore. Because another live service game that offers the same loop isn't exciting. It's predictable. And at the same time, we're starting to see something different happen. Games that aren't built around live service are starting to stand out again. When Crimson Desert released, it sold millions of copies. Not because it was free, but because it felt like a complete experience. Something you could actually pick up and play, start to finish. And while that was happening, games like Marathon that released in a similar time frame were struggling to hold a player base. They couldn't hold player attention at all. Two completely different approaches and very different results. Because the real issue isn't just live service itself, it's what it replaced. Games used to sell content. New maps, new modes, expansions that actually changed the experience. Now they sell cosmetics, skins, battle passes, progression systems, layered on top of the same core gameplay every time. And over time, that shift started to show. Because the truth is, it's not just that games feel repetitive now, they actually feel worse, less polished, less complete, and in some cases, barely finished. Instead of full experiences, we're getting games that feel rushed out the door, built to start making money as quickly as possible, and sometimes it feels like more effort goes into the trailers than the game itself. And after years of that, players are starting to notice. As I was sitting here editing this video, I felt like I needed to talk about a few more examples of what exactly I'm talking about when I'm saying that live service games is what's killing the multiplayer industry. You have games right now that's like Destiny or Call of Duty that it's focusing mostly on live service aspects of the game, and they're not adding content into the game at all. It's just the same gameplay loop over and over, and they give you challenges or seasonal events for you to go in and do practically the same thing that you have been doing, but you're going to get this special reward. And then after the event is over, it's gone, and now you just have the same game again. So they're never actually releasing any new content. In Destiny, occasionally they add in an expansion, but a lot of times there's so many elements within that feels like recycled content, and they're the king of recycled content. And then you have games like Call of Duty that literally do not add in anything new, and it's just the same gameplay loop no matter what. It's just skins and events for you to do challenges to get more skins or any type of cosmetic, but it's never anything new. There was a point in time when we were getting map packs and things like that. But there are some games that are resurging right now because they're doing some things really well. You have a game like Diablo 4 that here recently has been booming because they put out a new expansion and it is doing great. They didn't focus on live service. They focused on the expansion itself and put out great content, and even players that had wrote off the game years ago are coming back and enjoying the game altogether. Now, an example of a game that has done live service correctly and they haven't killed their game because of it is a game like PoE. They came in, they have a live service model with cosmetics and a shop and things to keep players coming back every day, but they also are making their game specifically for the players. They're releasing new content all the time, new expansions all the time, and it is a difference maker like we've never seen. They have combined the live service aspect and the quality making good content aspect of things, and essentially they have a game that won't die because of it. If all these games that have been putting out live service content did like PoE did, instead of making a new game for Call of Duty every year, or instead of focusing only on cosmetics in other games like in Destiny or Overwatch, or making an Overwatch 2 for no apparent reason just to have a cash grab quickly, if these games focused on things that mattered like PoE does or like Diablo 4 does, then things would be completely different. Diablo saw that their game was failing and they made a lot of changes, and now we have a game that people really enjoy. I have more that I could talk about on this, but as I was editing this video, I just had this side thought and I just felt like I needed to say it. So here it is, and then now we're back to the rest of the video. They're getting tired of it, and this is where things start to change, because now it feels like studios are reacting a little bit. Not leading, but reacting. Player numbers drop, engagement slows, and suddenly something has to change. That's where the panic comes in. But here's the interesting part. That might actually be a good thing for us, because when a system like this starts to fail, it forces everything around it to adapt. And right now, we're starting to see that happen. The studios that are still focusing on making high quality games are starting to stand out more than ever. Examples of this is like Elden Ring or Crimson Desert here recently. And the ones chasing the same live service formula are starting to fall behind. And if that continues, it doesn't just hurt those games, it forces the entire industry to rethink what works. Because eventually, even the biggest studios won't have a choice. If players stop showing up, if engagement keeps dropping, they'll have to change. And whatever comes out of that might finally be better for the player. Because live service didn't just reshape multiplayer, it pushed it to its limit. And now we're starting to see what happens after that. Not the end of multiplayer, but the end of what it became. And whatever comes next will probably look very different from what we've been playing the last few years. If you enjoyed the video today, dudes, just a quick little thought on live service games, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about it as well. I don't think it's completely killing multiplayer, but I do also think that it's not good for it either. I'd love to see games have more quality coming out than quantity. I just remember a time when games like Destiny or Call of Duty or any of these others were coming out with fully finished games from the start, and we're just not seeing that anymore. So I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think is going to happen, what's going to happen going forward. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, dudes, please let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, hit that sub button. Still pushing for 100 subs. I'd love to get a sub out of you if I was entertaining. Don't sub if I wasn't entertaining. Don't do it. Well, I mean, you could do it. You don't think I'm entertaining, but well, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thanks for being here all the way to the end of the video if you're still here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, dudes.